In this video, I want to talk you through some of the different types of unconventional membership sites that there are out there, because there are lots of sites out there on the internet that are technically membership sites, but you might not be aware that that's exactly what they are. And these are the sort of things that you might perhaps want to copy or to build on. Now, the first type of membership site that a lot of people don't really think of as a membership site are actually social media. Now, I'm not talking about social media like Instagram or Twitter, because they're really more apps than web-based. But lots of social media sites, well-established social media sites, actually started out as being just a pure and simple membership site. Let me give you some examples. And I suppose the granddaddy of them all is Facebook. And Facebook is a membership site. In order to access the site, you have to be a member. And it started out, the story that it was just for students at Harvard University, and then it simply grew and now covers the whole world. But it's a good example of a free website as well, because it doesn't cost anything to join Facebook, and they make their money through selling advertising. So again, Facebook, you might not think of it as being a membership site, but really that's exactly what it is. Another example here is LinkedIn. And LinkedIn is a networking site for business professionals. And again, it is a membership site. You have to be a member in order to read the profiles or read the profiles in detail of other members and to participate in the discussions and that sort of thing. And it is a good example as well of a freemium site, because it doesn't cost anything to join to have basic access. But if you want some of the more advanced parts of the site, some of the more advanced statistics, then you do have to take out a subscription and become a full paying member. But of course, again, like Facebook, a lot of people think of LinkedIn as being social media rather than being a membership site. But technically, these are both membership sites. Another type of membership site that's been growing in popularity is software as a service. Now, this is something that's sprung up really in the last couple of years, and it's grown to be a very popular type of membership site. And really, it's been the growth of broadband and the increase in broadband speeds that has enabled this to happen. And what happens is, instead of having the software on your computer, users subscribe to the site and use the software online. And this has done lots of things for software. For a start, it's meant that it doesn't matter what type of computer you have. In fact, sometimes you can actually run some of these software programs on your phone, and you have the processing power of a web server behind it. But also, it has a big advantage for software developers insofar as it makes it virtually impossible for software to be pirated. I mean, up until a few years ago, when all software had to be installed on your computer, you had to have different versions for PCs or Macs. And of course, you look on a well-known auction site and you'd find all sorts of people selling knocked off copies of Photoshop or Microsoft Office or that sort of thing. But with software as a service, with people accessing it through a membership site, that can't happen because the software doesn't get downloaded. But also, you always have the latest version, so you don't have to download and install upgrades onto your computer, because that's done automatically on the site. Now, some good examples of software as a service are Basecamp. And Basecamp is a communication software, I suppose you could call it. It's where if you've got different people who are collaborating on a project, they can communicate with each other via Basecamp. So you don't have to keep sending emails, you don't have to keep transferring documents, that sort of thing. And it's very useful if you work on projects with people in different countries or people who are traveling and that sort of thing. So you can keep it all in one spot. Another good example is Lubith, and Lubith is a WordPress theme generator. And it's all done online. You design your WordPress theme online, and then you download it at your computer, and then you can upload it to your WordPress site. But everything is done online. You don't have to install any software at all. And Lubith has both free and paid for versions. With the free version, it includes a link at the bottom of your new WordPress theme that takes it back to Lubith. So they do have some benefit for you having a free Lubith theme. Adobe has now moved most of their software over to their Adobe Creative Cloud. Years ago, you used to be able to buy things like Photoshop on a DVD and install it on your computer. But now most of their software, as I said, is on the Adobe Creative Cloud, which means that you can access it from anywhere and on any device. And of course, it's always up to date. But of course, you do have to subscribe to this, and so there is very little risk as far as Adobe is concerned of their software being pirated, which was a big problem for them in the past. And even Microsoft is getting it on the act. Microsoft Office 365 is the online software as a service version of their popular Office suite. And in addition to being able to do all of your work online and save it online, so if your computer crashes, you haven't lost everything, you can also work on documents on things like your tablet and your smartphone, etc. And then there are databases. Now, database membership sites are where you have a lot of data, information that you've gathered or collated. And if people want access to that data, then they have to subscribe to your site. And you keep the data constantly updated so that people know that the data is going to be the most up-to-date data that there is available on this particular subject, and it can be on all sorts of different subjects. And so people have a good reason to stay subscribed because they're going to be accessing the most recent data. Let me show you what I mean. Now, some good examples of database sites are TripAdvisor, and TripAdvisor allows you to search for all sorts of things: hotel rooms, flights, holiday rentals, restaurants, etc., etc. And it includes information about these various places. You can also book via the site. It includes reviews here of different places, and this is all user-generated content and user-generated feedback. And you can also see that they do have some advertising on the site as well. Dating sites, well, they're good examples of database sites because, of course, it is all data information entered in by members. So things like Match.com are very good examples of database sites. And then there's, of course, the thing that most people think of when they think about data, and that's things like market data. A good example of a site that has lots of market data is the Wall Street Journal. As you can see, they do have some areas of the site that are open to the public. You can see all these different market information here, but they also have a members-only subscription part of the site as well. And finally, you can have a combination of different types of unconventional membership site. You could perhaps offer data and software, or you could perhaps offer some type of social media and data, that sort of thing. Or you could perhaps have data and a more conventional type of membership site with articles and a forum and that sort of thing, but it's all in combination. But there are certain unique facets to your membership site that people can't get anywhere else. And the best example that I can think of is the Motley Fool. And the Motley Fool has lots of information on the site. You've got market information, you've got information about investing, you've got some advertising for investment related products and services. You've got investing reports. You've got, let's go at the top here. You've got news articles and news videos. You've got all sorts of interesting information, share advisors, and share dealing and so on, all sorts of information, all collated. Some is market data, some is articles that have been written, and some are videos, some's news. And it's all lots of different things that go together to make this particular site. And you've got different versions. This is the UK site, but you've got one in Australia or Germany or Canada or Singapore or the US. So as you can see, if you want to start a membership site, it doesn't have to be just a conventional type of membership site. You can have different types of membership site, some that you might not have considered in the past because it doesn't really come across as being a membership site, and you can have different combinations as well. So there's lots and lots of scope to make money with different types of membership sites.